Okay. um, Sorry about that. It's been almost a year since I did one of these, so I just want to clarify and remind everyone that I've been thinking of doing little videos, vlogs of my writing process and answering questions that maybe other writers have. And so I decided to do one since I can't really sleep. It is 7:52 in the morning. Hang on, let me close my door a little more. Sorry about that. As you can see behind me, my room, I cleaned it up like last week, so. But one of the questions that I get asked a lot by everyone, whether they write or not, or just curious about my process, is what kind of research do I do and how long do I spend researching before beginning writing? I always write what I know, which is a lot of mythology. It's like one of my favorite things. Mythology, like supernatural, like vampires, werewolves, all that. Sorry, I talk with my hands. But that is where my research started, was writing what I like, mythology. It was mostly Greek mythology when I was a child, and then it kind of moved to like Irish and Norse mythology, and kind of traveled south to like Egyptian mythology. That was influenced by one of my old friends. Same thing with the Irish mythology, actually. Then I moved over to the East and Asia, which I'm completely in love with. Let's just be honest with that. Like China, Japan, Korea, Thailand. Thailand is like one of my top places. I want to go there. But so that's where my research started, was finding what I like and going with it and moving on. And I've been learning about various mythologies since I was like, I want to say like 8 or 9. So let's see, I'm 35. So maybe like 20 some years. Sorry, my brain's like out of it. So 20 some years, we'll just say. We'll just say that. But I don't do a lot of research before I start writing, because usually when I have the idea, I just kind of start writing to, how do I want to say this? I just start writing to start forming my basis, let's just say. Kind of like I'm starting to mold my clay, as it were, I guess. And so as I'm writing, that's when I start doing a lot of research. Even if I gotta take like 10, 20 minutes to research something, I'll do that. Because then it's fresh in my head, and then I can go back to my story. And if I need to, like, go back and re-edit some things to make it fit what I'm trying. So like right now what I'm writing is this sounds so weird, a Yakuza story for some of my characters. So when I started writing that, I just kind of formed my basis, and then I went into researching that lifestyle, learning more about it. I know I did some back in the day, but honestly, I don't remember that much about it. Um, but throughout an entire story, I do tend to spend several hours researching. For one of my stories, which was like a year ago, no, like end of 2018, beginning of 2019, right in there, I spent, I think, 3 hours researching, and the story took me, I'm just like gonna condense it all because I would write like in spots throughout a couple days. I would say it took me 3 days to write the story and several hours of research put in there. Um, but yeah, I research a lot of like whatever I need, like mostly personalities, movements, and trying to think of a good explanation for it. Um, trying to think. Let's see. I don't remember. Sorry, but for everyone, it's different how they research for their story. Some people like to research before they even begin writing so they can create their outline. For me, an outline doesn't really work because then I lose a lot of details as I'm writing it out. So I'm more of one of those, I have to write it out, get all the details out that are in my head, and research as I go along, putting this in, taking this out. So I'm basically editing as I'm writing, and I'm adding things, taking things away. But like I said, I can't really do outlines. Some people need to do outlines, which is completely fine. Never be afraid that you can't do an outline before you write. Some people do it a lot better. But I can't do it. I tend to research as I write. It's one of the best things for me. Um, but make sure when you do research, you go to more credible sources. Like I'll start like at Wikipedia, but then I'll follow their sources and I'll kind of see what, from my memory, what I've learned and what is new out there now. And then I'll kind of find other sites and sources to see what matches what. And sometimes I'll even go to some of my favorite writers, like their published works. And I'll use that to kind of mold my own theories of things. Is that how I want to say it? But yeah, it's really different for everyone, you know, details and making sure you know what it is that you're researching, making sure that it fits within your parameters, but also if you like having that realistic detail, taking from actual real life things that you find and putting them into your story. That's what I like doing. I like having a little bit of realism for my stories. So I always end up researching a lot of clothes, fabrics. So I want to make sure that when I'm writing my characters, this is where some of my research goes to. Definitely where it goes to. I like making sure that my readers can actually see what my characters are wearing in their heads. Sometimes I wish I could put like visuals in my stories, like it's this dress but in this color with this fabric. That would be so nice, but it doesn't happen. So I do that on Facebook a lot. I post like what my female characters are wearing, like right down to their shoes, the color of fabric, even sometimes their hair, like this hairstyle, this color, with these eyes, that's my girl. I did that with a couple of my guys too. I was like, okay, kind of looks like him, but he's a little bit like this with a little bit longer hair, not too much longer. So I like giving my readers visuals of my characters or where I take my inspiration from, like certain what am I trying to say? Certain places maybe, like a beach in Thailand or a misty mountain in China. There was one that I did that. It's really cool. I don't remember it, but yeah, I do. I have been writing a lot of fan fiction lately, which has been actually helping me actually write my stuff. Because then that's like for me developing my characters, learning their personalities more. Like I said, everything I do goes back to research, going back and relearning things and molding them in my own head, if you will. Um, and I've also heard like a lot of people say, "Oh, you got to write this much every day. Oh, you have to write 200 words every day." For me, that doesn't work. Yes, I do write every day, but I have tried to set standards for myself, but it doesn't work for me. For me, let's get that straight. For me, might work for you. Making sure that you have the right tools. But writing happens when writing happens. I've literally written poems while I was at work, standing there with nobody coming while I'm at the register, and I'm just writing out a piece of receipt tape that I pulled out, and I'm like, do. So inspiration hits where inspiration hits. So always make sure, I always tell everybody this, always make sure you have like paper or something. Nowadays phones have little um, document things that you can write in. That's perfect because it will hit you where it is, wherever you are. Um, but I do suggest for most people that they should sit down and write. It doesn't have to be anything specific. You can just write whatever you want for fun. A couple times when I'm not writing stories, I will write character developments, which is just like, on my little note thing in my phone. It's a good page when I send it from there to my email to copy into my Word document. It's about a good page, 2 pages maybe. That's what I always do. I just kind of develop my characters, talk about what they're doing, daily tasks, hanging out with friends, going out to eat. They have kids, what they're doing with their kids. One of my characters has 3 dogs. She takes them out for walks and she sees things, talks to people. So it's just all different. So I think that's what everyone should do is kind of like sit down. If you can't make time, I've read this. If you say you can't make time to write, you're always busy. I feel like that's just an excuse. I'm not saying anything bad about it. Some people really are busy, and by the time they get home, they're tired, they want to relax. But maybe use that time as a form of, to write. Use it as meditation. Sometimes stories come from that. But for me personally, I've I write a lot. It doesn't always come to be, meaning, stories don't always come from whatever I write. But when I get inspired, then I put it there. And sometimes I go back to it, sometimes I don't. It's just a little piece floating around in my computer. But yeah, that's it. Kind of detoured off the question, which was what kind of research do I do and how long do I spend researching before beginning? I think I kind of answered that quick within like the first 5 minutes. And then I kind of went off this way, but that's okay. Um, the other question that I had was how many hours a day do I write? Again, it's different for everyone. Um, Seeing as how we're all in, the situation we're in now, we all have a lot of time to do whatever we want and whatever we need. So I spend this a lot of the times writing. But then you see me on Facebook and I'm saying I'm avoiding writing. It's like I have the inspiration to write, but it's not wanting to come out. It doesn't wants to stay and be whatever. But yeah, I try. I don't try to write a certain amount of time. I just try to write enough to finish like maybe a story or a couple pages, depending on if the story's longer than a couple pages. Lately, I've been writing very short stories, which a lot of people call wet plot, but for me, even though it's supposed to be wet plot, I still end up having a little bit of a storyline to it. It's just very short and condensed and gets to the point. So I guess it is what plot. I don't know. I never felt like they were. Sorry, water. Um, and the other question that I was always asked is how long it takes for a story to be completed. And for me, it's as long as the idea is still flowing and it's following the current storyline. But sometimes I do have to go, whoa, we're getting too tangent. It's like we're going this way, and then all of a sudden, whoop, and then I gotta go back this way, and then all of a sudden. So sometimes I'll let that happen. Let all the tangents come as they want, because then I do a lot of editing, and then I have one of my friends read, and then I re-edit, and I have her help me talk it through with me. She's like the best soundboard ever, and I love her. Thank you so much. She puts up with me, and I'm so grateful for that. So grateful. She gives me her feedback happily, and I love it. I love her for it. But I guess it depends. Like I said, I guess it depends. I usually end up writing. God, like right now, it's really hard for me to answer that question, like how long it takes me to write a story because of the current situation. But I spend several hours writing a story. And sometimes it's just that several hours and it's done. Other times it's like 3-4 days, like sporadically writing. But yeah, those are like the 3 questions I really wanted to focus on. There is another one that I think will be a little bit longer, and I gotta do some more research for it and put my notes together the way I like, because obviously I came on here and I just had 3 questions I wanted to answer and talk. I wanted to show everybody that I'm still alive. But yeah, those 3 kind of all like somehow fit together. Um, but yeah, obviously I don't know what to say anymore. So I think I'm gonna end it here. And if you guys do have any questions that you want me to answer or give you advice with, please comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'm going to try and be more active because I like talking to people. My friend can attest to that. Although I feel like I'm better in person than like videoing to people, because then I'm like stuttering over my words. But anyways, I just wanted to say hi. I miss you guys. I love you. Um, like I said, comment below if you have any questions or if you need advice on a certain thing. I can do that for you. Um, subscribe, like, please. Keep coming back. I love you guys. um, yeah, see you guys.